Shalom. I am Leon Chudzinski, member of the Temple Judea Museum Artist Collaborative. I'm honored to have been asked to complete the installation of this exhibit of David and me at the Temple Judea Museum. The installation of these works is more than a photographic display of the people and history of Israel. It is the story of two friends, Alvin Gellens and David Harris, who both so happen to be celebrated photographers who have through the lens expressively captured the history of Israel and its people from the mid-20th century until today. As you view the exhibit from the main lobby into the museum itself, I have arranged a series of portraits that greet the viewer with the faces of Israel. From the steadfast Arab woman leaning around the corner to the left, to the pensive boy at study that stares right through the viewer on the right, Gellens captures the story of his subjects in a click of the shutter, yet their story is conveyed for generations. In arranging these portraits through the visual focus of the subjects themselves, I have drawn the viewer back to the center of the display from either side, where Gellens and Harris sit together at a table, enjoying a drink, with the ever-present camera standing between them. As one looks through the lobby wall, your eyes are drawn to the rear display case. This is where the work of Gellens, with its sensitivity to light and shadow, begins to take the viewer into the land of Israel and reveals a cultural history of struggle and triumph. He is joined by Harris on this journey, as I have included publications that feature the work of Harris on the floor of the display case, thus introducing Harris to the viewer as a companion to Gellens. The original photos published in these books are on display in the main lobby portion of the exhibit. The first jointly displayed photographs of these two artists appear within the Temple Judea case to the right. I purposely curated a single central photo of the Western Wall by Harris, surrounded by various works of Gellens, thus beginning the transition from one artist's work to the next. The positioning of the work within the display harkens to a mid-century modern design of staggered blocks. This was introduced to give a sense of period to the display, as the works reach back to the beginnings of this architectural movement, which coincided with the creation of the State of Israel. The far main lobby display cases focus on the work of Harris. It is here that you will find the original photos of the previously referred publications displayed back in the main museum gallery. The installation is anchored on either side of the room with photos depicting movement. The ascending nuns on the right and the two people walking in the snow on the left are moving inward into the display itself. Alongside each of these two photos, I have placed differing views of an expansive Negev desert to contrast the routine of the adjoining photos, and to remind the viewer that at the time, the State of Israel was a fledgling nation, geographically, politically, and culturally on the world stage. At the base of the outside displays, I placed two photos. The photographic angle of these well-known works were taken from above. On the left, the viewer is taken into the caves where the Bar Hakba objects were discovered. On the right, the viewer is taken into the steerage of a Jewish transport ship as it landed at Jaffa, bringing displaced Jews to the new nation of Israel. The contrast of these two images poses thousands of years of rediscovered Jewish history with a new world for the immigrating Jews to the State of Israel. In the center display, I decided to use the published and powerful image of a rabbi praying in the blessing of the Western Wall, to contrast the poised and more modest image of Golda Meir to the right. Harris captures the dignity of both in his works, but in the photo of Golda Meir, he captured the confidence of a nation for generations to come, thus solidifying the notoriety of the woman that David Ben-Gurion publicly embraced in the context of the day as the best man in the government. I hope you enjoy and take the time to embrace the content and manner of presentation of this exhibit. Through this installation, we are able to experience a shared love of the people, places, and history of Israel through the eyes of friends. It is a beautiful way to experience the identity of Israel.